Hello everyone, welcome back to our channel. Today we're going to be covering one of the things that on LinkedIn is done wrong quite often, and that is that open to new opportunities setting. It seems so easy, all you have to do is click it on. But did you know that there is a way to do it correctly and a way that really limits how many people actually see that you're open to new opportunities? Let's cover that now. Now, before we get started, if you haven't already, I would really appreciate it if you would consider subscribing to our channel. If this video is helpful to you, please give us a thumbs up at the end. And please, if you know of other job seekers who are out there struggling with their job search, please take a moment and share this video with them. Okay, let's dive right in. From your main LinkedIn homepage, you're going to want to click on your profile. And that's going to bring you to the place where you can turn on your open to new opportunities setting. Now, right underneath your name, you're going to see this box that's going to say, show recruiters you're open to job opportunities. You control who sees this. All you have to do is click on this Get Started. Now, once you click on Get Started, it's going to ask you a whole variety of information that you're going to want to fill out as much as you possibly can. Why? All of this information is used in searches that recruiters will do. Let's talk about the first one, job titles. Now, there's no need to list the job title that you currently have, even though LinkedIn's going to default that in. It will allow you to add 5 additional titles, like this. Now, as you're entering in these 5 job titles, keep in mind, these are things that recruiters and companies are going to see, and they are going to make decisions based on what you put there. If the only thing that you put in there is VP or C-suite position, then they may not call you for a manager role. So try to think more about your profession rather than the title that's like director or VP or manager. The more you put things like that, if you don't show a breadth of job titles, you may end up getting ruled out. And that's the last thing we want to happen. Let's take a look at the next section, job locations. And this one's important because there are lots of searches where you will get ruled out based on your location. Let's take a look now. So for the job locations, again, you get to pick 5 locations that you can add. Do not use one of those 5 slots as a location that you already have picked on your main profile. You want to add 5 different locations. Now, if you're by a very large city, let's say Houston, Texas, for example, you want to make sure that you're being considered for not only the roles that are in Houston, but in the areas that are surrounding, ones that you may still want to drive to. How do you make sure you don't get missed from all of the searches done by these smaller cities? My recommendation is for you to actually put state. When you put states instead of city, any positions that are within that state, you have a better chance of coming up in the searches. And that's what we're trying to do, is get you past the applicant tracking system where you're actually talking with somebody. Now, let's say they call you for a position in the state that you said, yes, I'm willing to look at positions in that state. And it ends up being an 8-hour drive away, and you just don't want to consider going to that location. At least at that point, you are still talking to a person. And that's, again, what we want. You may be able to have a conversation with them and say, I'm not willing to go to that location. Do you have any others that are closer to my home? Or, well, I might be willing to travel there once a month. Would you be willing to have this be a remote or work from home position the rest of the time? By having a conversation with somebody, you have a much better chance of them saying yes to one of those other options. So how exactly does LinkedIn use this location setting? Well, when a recruiter goes in to do a search, it only pulls from the primary location that you have on your profile when they choose location current. There is an option for them to say current or open to relocate. That or open to relocate, that pulls from the open to new opportunities section. Now remember, you can do everything from city, state, province, county, country, or even continent in these 5 slots. So there's lots of options available for you that you can definitely put when you're looking at the job locations. Now remember, we're trying to get you past all of these applicant tracking systems so you actually get to talk to a person. So if you can choose your location a little broader, you're going to have a much better chance of coming up in the search and a much better chance of getting a call. Okay, let's go on to the next section in the Open to New Opportunities section, which is job type. Let's take a look. On the job type section, you have 7 different options available to you: full-time, contract, part-time, internship, volunteer, temporary, and remote. I do recommend that you choose as many as you possibly can, as long as you're actually willing to accept a position in this area. Now, the one that I really recommend you consider when you're looking post-COVID-19 is that remote setting. A lot of people have changed their positions into remote positions. And depending on how the job posting is placed, you may actually see that positions are titled as remote as opposed to how they normally were, being full-time. So take the time to choose as many of these as you possibly can. And when the recruiter goes in and does a search, they will actually be able to look at people based on these settings. So let's say I'm hiring for interns. I can go in and do a search and look strictly at people who have checked this internship button. Okay, it is time to talk about the most important part of the Open to New Opportunities section. This is absolutely critical that you understand how this part works. Let's take a look at the drop-down menu. So on this drop-down box, you can see the default is only recruiters. If you just click Add to Profile Now, what that means is only individuals who have purchased LinkedIn Recruiter will get to see that you have your Open to New Opportunities on and get to see the data underneath it. If you click this little down triangle, you'll see there is another option, which is all LinkedIn members. Now let's talk more in depth about these 2 options. So if you are currently a job seeker looking for a job and you are not employed, you should absolutely have this setting turned on for everyone. Now, why do I say that? LinkedIn Recruiter is a great product, but it is very, very expensive. And individuals don't have it, and smaller companies don't have it. Even the larger companies, some of them haven't chosen to purchase LinkedIn Recruiter. And if you have it set to recruiters only, it does not mean all recruiters get to see this data. It means only those who have purchased this LinkedIn Recruiter will get to see your Open to New Opportunities data. Well, if you're a job seeker, you want to look at all of the companies that are available out there. You want any hiring manager that comes across your profile to be able to see that, yes, you are open to new opportunities, and here's the type of jobs, and here's the type of roles, and here's the locations. You don't want to hide that data. The only people who should choose, in my opinion, recruiters only, are those that are currently employed and they are concerned that if their current company sees that they are open to new opportunities, it might affect their employment. Those are the only individuals, in my opinion, that should choose this recruiters only option. I hope that this video has been helpful to you. When you are looking for a job, you do want as many people as possible actually reviewing your information. By having this open to new opportunities setting on, it really helps this occur. Now, I did tell you there were some searches behind the scenes that recruiters use to get to actually see that you have this setting on. I want to show you now an actual search example so you can see just how powerful it can be to have your open to new opportunities setting turned on. Let's take a look. Okay, so let's look at LinkedIn Recruiter and how powerful the open to new opportunities setting is in my search. I'm going to go in and do a search looking for an engineer. Now, I'm willing to look at anybody who is currently or past in the role of engineer. And you'll see that when I pull this up, it comes up with 24 million plus results. So that's the big challenge for recruiters on LinkedIn is how do I narrow down this number to a number of people that I can actually look at? Well, I use all of these search filters on the left-hand side of my screen. Now you'll see at the very top, there's one called Spotlights. And if I click on this plus symbol on the Spotlights, it brings up a set of searches. And the one that you're going to see at the bottom is open to new opportunities. Now, when I click on that open to new opportunities button, you're going to see the amount of people in my search went from 24 million down to only 4.4 million. Now, listen, I know that that's still way too many people, that no recruiter is actually going to take a look at that many. But I wanted you to see the power of how it brings down the huge amount of profiles out there of people who are just looking to network down to 4.4 million that I'm going to want to maybe contact faster as a recruiter. I hope this shows you just how powerful having that open to new opportunities setting on is. Now, of course, the other things that we covered in the open to new opportunities like location and job type are just as powerful, and they're going to help me reduce down the amount of people that come in my search as well, especially location. But it is really important, if you are a job seeker, turn on that open to new opportunities setting. It will definitely make a difference as to how many searches you're coming up in. Now, every time I show the back of LinkedIn Recruiter, I get lots of feedback and lots of interest from people because it's not something you normally get to see. Well, we do have other videos that cover some of these other search filters, and we have even more coming out. The best way for you to get seen in these searches is to know what recruiters are actually searching with. So please subscribe to our channel, ring that bell for notifications, so you will be able to see more on these search filters. Thanks again for joining me, and I look forward to seeing you all again.